Hey everyone, I'm Caleb. Welcome to the Daily Devo. Today we're continuing our series called Jesus Described in Hebrews, and today's verse is such a powerful one. Let's read it together. Hebrews 1 verse 3, it says this: "The Son," that's Jesus, "is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being, sustaining all things by his powerful word." We're going to focus on that last line, sustaining all things by his powerful word. The other morning, I was on my way into the office when I came to an intersection where the traffic lights had lost power, and there were police officers directing the flow of traffic. They would hold their hand up to stop one lane and wave their hand to start another lane. If you and I were to hop out of our vehicle and start directing traffic like that, I don't think we would get the same level of respect as those officers. Why? Because behind that hand gesture is a badge. And behind that badge is the weight of the governing system of our country. The actions of our law enforcement are sustained by the authority of the badge they wear. The intricate workings of the human heart and of the entire universe are all sustained by Jesus, who is the living Word of God. John, one of Jesus' disciples, uses the Greek word logos to describe Jesus in John chapter 1. Logos literally means spoken word. And John 1 says, "The Word," that's Jesus, "was in the beginning with God, and he was God, and all things were made through him." And then in verse 14 it says, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory. Glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth." See, friends, Jesus is sustaining all things by the word of his power because he is the actual living Word of God. He is the invisible God made visible. What happens between an invisible idea and a tangible outcome? Logos happens, a spoken word. When I ask my wife where she wants to go for dinner, she may think in her mind, sushi sounds good, but there is no outcome until she says, "Let's go to Clever Koi for sushi," and we get in our car and drive there. When God's plan to have a family was set into motion at creation, things went from invisible to visible. And in between was a spoken word, logos, Jesus. And that same Jesus is sustaining all things today by the word of his power. Today, you and I will probably have multiple opportunities to act or react in our own strength. When we get agitated at someone, or we make a mistake, or we're faced with a big decision, or the enemy comes against our mind with lies, we can try to combat those things in our own strength, or we can call on the one who sustains all things by the word of his power and ask him for wisdom and for strength and for perspective. Maybe you're at an intersection in life right now and the traffic lights are down and you need someone to give you direction. There is one who carries all the authority of heaven, who is sustaining each beat of your heart by the word of his power. Call on him, trust him, ask him, and he will lead you forward.